Hey, what's up guys? You might remember the 26-inch Chinese mullet I built a while ago. Well, converted at least. The bike had been built for a while already. For those of you new to this, a mullet is a bad haircut, right? It's also a mountain bike that has mismatched wheel sizes in the front and rear. This means a larger front wheel that helps you float over bumps and a smaller rear wheel to help you accelerate quicker and climb better. Anyway, it went from a straight 26-inch full suspension bike to a 26-inch 27.5 mullet full suspension bike. The bike was instantly more modern. Now, there were some limitations because the frame was straight tube, so my choices for forks were kind of limited. But I found a Recon that fit the bill, but this was a quick release style fork, so no through axle. You know, what are you gonna do, right? For the wheel, I went cheap. I mean, of course I went cheap. I picked up a Bucklo's quick release wheel from Amazon for like super cheap. I thought I could make the wheel tubeless, but after trying 3 different tires, I just could not get a bead lock and gave up. I mean, it didn't say it was tubeless. In fact, in the comments it said this is not tubeless, but you know, you used to be able to get away with that. This time I could not, so you know, I gave up. I slapped a tube in there just to get it going. When you're banging your head against the wall enough, you gotta move on. Anyway, when I got it all together, the end result was great. The bike rode better, especially over the bumpy stuff. I mean, that was the point. So mission accomplished, right? No. You see, the new wheel and fork combo brought the bike up to 30 pounds, right? That might not seem like a lot, but before the conversion to mullet, it was 25 pounds. So we added 5 pounds to this thing. And I mean, that's percentage-wise, that's significant, right? Kind of, you know, chat my butt a little bit. Now, most of the weight is coming from the fork. I went from a 26-inch RockShox Sid to a 27.5 Recon. There's a little bit of a weight difference right there. I also moved from a nice Stance 26-inch tubeless wheel to a Bucklo's 27.5 with a tube. I mean, there's some weight right there too. Well, you know, I like to tinker. So how about getting a better wheel going tubeless to save some weight? I mean, it sounds like a good idea, right? With that in mind, I went to eBay and I found a Western Trail bike, you know, WTB 27.5 wheel. The thought was it's a more mainstream brand and it should be lighter and better than the Bucklo's. I mean, right away though, there was a problem. The WTB was a through axle, so I need an adapter. It's a through to QR adapter, 10 bucks. Now, Western Trail Bikes makes one, but this was cheaper and a lot faster to get. Now, I thought getting the tire on and seating the bead would be cake, right? I mean, this is a tubeless TCS ready to go wheel. Yeah, no, it wasn't. First of all, the Continental tire I wanted to use that's on the Bucklo's was just like impossible to get off. Out of all the tires I have, these are the tightest beads. The Continentals are just, the wire bead, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So I went with a new wheel. You know, I just got a new tire. So after finally getting it on, I couldn't get a bead pop. It wasn't seating. It went on one side, but not the other. After a bit of investigation, it looks like a lot of air is leaking out of the seam. You hear that air coming out? Something's going on up here. So, I mean, I just can't get enough air, volume in there to pop it. The rim is pinned, not welded, so this is known to happen from time to time. For what I've seen, WTB is kind of a big offender with this, and it was very annoying. This is the first time I've had this happen, actually. I haven't had a problem dry seating any tubeless tire before, even when doing homemade stance conversions years ago. So double check the rim. Yes, it's tubeless. Okay, so what's the problem? So I have some JB weld. I don't know if I want to use that because I don't want to have to goop up the rim or have to sand it down, you know, because then, you know, you might just clog up the bead, you know, the little channel where the bead's supposed to set. So what am I going to do? I'm gonna put some extra tape in there. I'm gonna dump just a ton of Stan's tire goop in there, tire milk, you know, whatever you guys wanna call it. I'm gonna dump that in there. I'm gonna pump the crap out of it. I'm gonna shake it up and I'm gonna see what's happening. So I finally got it on there and I shook the hell out of it. Got all the Stans in there. I don't know, can you hear that? That's all the tire milk in there. It's all goopy, but no leak. So let's talk about the weight difference. All right, here we go with the bucklows. Let's turn this guy on there. So we got the quick release on there and the rotor. Let's see what we come up with here. All right, 5.09. So 5.09 pounds. All right, now let's find out what the other one weighs with the rotor and the quick release on there. So remember the buckles is 5.09. Let's check this one. 4.87. Hey, it's lighter, right? It's not really that much lighter, but it is a little lighter. And you know what? I feel a little bit more comfortable with this wheel. The hub is a little bit better. And you know, with the spokes, the profile, I mean, it's just a better wheel. Let's take a look at the bucklos wheel. You can see this right here. You can see the profile is a little bit different. It's a little higher, a little narrower, and it has what they call a, you know, it's got a carbon hub. I don't know. Is it a little lighter? Maybe it is. See, the Conti is a little bit narrower too. So we're going from this, we're going to this. So here's the Western Trail bike. You can see we got a Terrine chunk light on here, and you can see the profile is a little different, right? It's not as high, and you see that? It's a little bit wider there. And it just has a, you know, traditional hub. It's not carbon. You can see I got my insert in there, I got the quick release. Everything is on there. So it turns out that it is, yes, it is a little bit lighter. Was it worth the money just for the weight difference? No, probably not. But to have a better wheel with a better profile that I think is going to handle bumps, rocks a little bit more, I think yes, it was definitely worth it. Well, what do we need to do? We need to get out there and ride this sucker. All right, so how did it ride? Well, it rides about the same. I can't say I can tell the difference on, you know, at least on one ride. Between the two, I did lower my rotational mass and unsprung weight, so there's that. In reality, I don't know there's that much difference between the two. I mean, it is tubeless, so that's one thing I can point to that's different. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you out on the trail.